Welcome to New Issues, where winter break is almost as long as AMC's The Walking Dead. I'm Dane Pace,
Colin Karkash.
David Robles.
and this episode is kind of explain the absence we've had for a while. It's been about a month since we've done one of these, mostly because we went on a holiday. It was Christmas break. Some of us went home. Actually, I think all of us went out of state at one point or another.
Indeed.
Um,
Very honestly.
I went to Kansas. You went to Texas, Arizona.
Arizona.
You're from Austin, right? Austin
Yeah.
area? Where are you from? I just all I hear is you're from. Yeah, I'm from Arizona.
Arizona, you
What-
know,
what
it's
part?
just the state in
He's just from
general.
the South State.
No, that's very southwest corner.
You
Yuma,
just travel from
Arizona.
point to point.
3 hours from San Diego, 3 hours from Tucson, 3 hours from Phoenix.
Oh.
Literally middle of nowhere.
3 hours from everywhere. Freaking Groton, Connecticut's 2 hours from Boston, like 2 hours south, and 2 hours north of New York. So if you get bored at Subtool Corners or another, just take a road trip. It's kind of cool. Freaking I'm from the southeast corner of Kansas. I'm not sure if I ever talked about that, but yeah, I'm from the southeast corner, and it gets really cold there for some reason. Like unusually cold, like in the area I live in. Like not like this time, the year before that, it was -4 degrees or some shit like that.
Gross.
Right? It was offensively cold. Like I was just like angry because it was cold. Um, but yeah, and then that's the reason why we haven't done one of these in a while. So we're going to be kind of rough at this. Our news isn't going to be so great because we can't remember all the shit that's happened. So we are parting ways in a way. Like I'm moving to Key West, and David here is moving to San Diego. Colin is sticking around. So we've been looking into various ways to do this and do it differently. One idea that came up from my friend Nick was to do Skype chats and video record them and just post that like on YouTube or something like that.
That would be neat.
And that way because we do talk about comics stuff like that very very often, very visual. I can actually hold up
visual.
Yeah.
I can hold up what we're talking about. Like, yeah, this.
Because sometimes we're like holding up original art and we're just like,
Yeah.
alright, let me visually describe this to you.
Let me
Batman's got
describe
some
what's
snow
happening.
pants on.
Snow Pants Batman.
And then there's some things that only we can refer to and we'll get. And,
Yeah.
like a new audience wouldn't understand what. I can't think of an example off the top of my head.
Yeah. And I like that, really like that idea. And if we do that way, we can actually have more guests. Like my buddy Nick, he's a tech guy. I really want him and his tech stuff on here. I'm trying to be all encompassing other than just comics, even though it is new issues and it's clearly comic based.
Yeah, you've had this idea of your buddy Nick for a minute now.
Yeah, because Nick is one of those people who has so much potential in his life that because he's hilarious, he's a great writer, and he's very creative, but he just doesn't do anything with it. And it's one of those things that's really like I want him to do something. At least this is something. Nick, I apologize for calling you out like this.
Nick, who are you?
He's an asshole. That's what he is. But so now that we got that out of the way, I mean, unless you can think of any other way to do this, I mean, I know we can like do
I
like
feel like visuals is like the next step in our evolution. You know?
yeah.
Now
New issues is evolving into new episodes.
See, right now we're gonna go from the one dimension to two.
Oh man. Hit B to cancel evolution.
But I bought this expensive stone.
You bought it? I found it. I didn't know. Just sitting there.
Curses.
News-wise, the first thing that comes to mind is a while back we talked about the Suicide Squad, how there's a movie coming out. Last night I saw an Arkham. If you want to get an idea of the Suicide Squad, that movie is perfect. It is, it really is, and I hope they do something very similar.
Jeez, man, this was like 4 new issues ago.
I know, right? Well, the reason why I bring that up is Tom Hardy is is not a part of the project anymore, and it's because of scheduling conflicts apparently.
It's a huge bummer, though.
Yeah, I would have loved to see that, but they're trying to get not Jared Leto, but Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jared Leto with Jared Leto.
Stars.
As Jared Leto.
No, they're trying to get Jake Gyllenhaal to do it, which is interesting because I mean, him and his sister are both in a DC movie,
Uh-oh.
and apparently his character in Nightcrawler, I think is what it's called, is really crazy, and it'd be interesting to see that little extra depth. I mean, he's just a generally good actor. Um,
And a pretty face. A lot of pretty faces in this squad.
there is a lot of pretty faces in this squad.
So if they can't sell you on the concept, they'll at least hope all the fangirls will go and see it just for that.
Well, if you want
This movie will
fangirls,
be fueled by Tumblr.
you think fangirls are going to be bad for that? Think about Gambit coming up. Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum with a friggin' Louisiana accent,
man.
a Cajun accent. Panties will drop.
Yeah, I mean, they would have already dropped regardless, because, I mean, like, I would have dropped mine.
Oh.
Have you seen the art for the Marvel swimsuits issue that they're going to come out?
No, I didn't, but
Oh,
I heard they canceled it.
Yes, it did get canceled, but, like, one of the main cover images that they had was of Gambit, and
Nice.
damn,
Does
I mean, like,
he have the black and red eyes? Like in the
yes,
animated series?
I am very much so straight, but damn, dude,
It's a handsome mofo.
that pelvis, though.
That pelvis. I don't know, I think those eyes are friggin' sweet. Like, I've got eyes like
There's something
it'd be like-
mysterious about them.
with black and red. It's something evil about them, but it's cool.
Boy,
That's what draws you in.
Yeah. What were we watching? Somebody had, like, black with green eyes like that.
Oh, it was Assault on Arkham.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
Ivy.
Yeah, that's how they did Ivy's eyes. It was like, more like I wish I had eyes like that. That'd be sweet. What else? They released the cast for the new DC animated movie, which is loosely based off of Court of Owls, which I'm actually really excited for. Not just because of the casting, but because of that story. The casting really helps, though, and because of who the casting is and what the brief synopsis said the movie was about.
Run us through the synopsis, because I kind of...
Well, the idea is it's... I'll bring one up real fast. But if I recall right, it's about Batman's investigating this secret society that's taking in young children and turns them into assassins. If that's...
Sounds familiar.
It sounds like the Court of Owls, really. And how close it's going to stick to the story that Scott Snyder wrote is up in the air. So, it's called
They have a casting for Callan.
versus Robin.
Oh, but also the newest DC movie or animated movie coming out is Justice League: Throne of Atlantis.
Oh, I had not even heard about that.
Yeah, that comes out in the next month or so, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually I think it comes out at the end of the month.
What do you know about this movie?
Yeah, please tell me.
It's a sequel to last year's Justice League War,
Oh, nice.
and it's essentially I think it's the third volume of the New 52's Justice League. Like Justice League War was a retelling of the origin story for the Justice League, and one of the biggest glares in it was that Aquaman wasn't in there. But in the actual book, Aquaman's there. And so they just replaced Aquaman with Captain Marvel, or Shazam as they're starting to call him.
Shazam.
And so people were wondering why they were doing that. And then after you watch Justice League War, here's a spoiler it's an end credit scene. But at the end you see I forgot what city they're fighting in, but there's all the rubble, and you see Ocean Master rise out of the water, and I forgot exactly what he said, but it's like prepare for war or something. And Throne of Atlantis I don't remember all the details for the story, but it's essentially the Atlanteans versus the surface.
Nice.
So they made a conscious decision not to include Aquaman, but still included something about Atlantis in there. Why is that?
I would say just to set this up.
Yeah, but why would they need to set this up, though?
That I don't know. I mean, try to get a kind of continuity thing going on. I noticed I started to watch Justice League War the other night, and it starts out with sketches straight from the book. Like, as it's being drawn.
I haven't seen it yet.
I
I feel like I'm missing out.
haven't seen all of it either. I watched like the first 10 minutes of it and fell asleep because that's
And
why I put
from
it
what
in.
I've seen in the trailer for Throne of Atlantis, they're really doing justice for Aquaman's character.
Oh, they're making him cool, like in the trench. I heard that actually, like, if you want to understand Aquaman, read The Trench because it explains.
By Jeff Johns.
It explains like why he's not lame and not as dumb as everyone thinks he is. Like, but
Kai, seriously.
seriously, guys, take me serious, man.
The realism that Jeff Johns brings to all the characters. Well,
Yeah.
realism as in these are still fictional characters, and they're completely made up, but he justifies
what
everything.
they can do. According to this little brief synopsis, Batman vs. Robin is based off Porter Valley's storyline, revolving around a secret society housed in Gotham that pulls the strings of the city and raises kidnapped, brainwashed children as assassins to carry out their dirty work. So yeah, it's according to this, it's fairly close to Court of Owls. IMDb has Grant Morrison as a writing credit, so it might have some ties to his Batman vs. Robin storyline when he did Batman and Robin.
Oh, okay.
One of the things that made me kind of giggle with glee with joy is the casting of Weird Al is going to be in it, and plays a character called Dollmaker. In the New 52, the very first issue of Detective Comics, at the very end, Dollmaker cuts Joker's face off, and it sets up the whole Death of the Family storyline.
So
They could potentially be setting that up, which is something I was just now thinking of. As you were saying it, I was saying it too. They could be setting that up, which would be kind of terrifying, to be honest.
Is the world ready for this?
That is a very good question. There it is. But a lot of the cast members from who'd previously done work like in Batman and Son of Batman, the Son of Batman movie, return. Jeremy Stitzo does the voice of the Talon, but Jason O'Mara returns as Bruce Wayne / Batman. Sean Meyer is Dick Grayson in Nightwing. Kevin Conroy is going to be Thomas Wayne, so apparently it's going to be at least a flashback to Bruce's parents. Robin Downs, Atkin Downs, is going to be the Grand Master, so I'm assuming it's going to be the Court of Owls Grand Master. Stuart Allen returns as Damien. So I think the story is going to be along the lines of they try to take Damien in as a member, and Batman's going to have to beat ass.
So, do you see this as like part of the whole Justice League War New 52 animated continuity, or is it like standalone Batman?
I think they're trying to set up continuity very similar to the comics, and I think it will be, honestly. And I think I'm kind of excited for it just because because that's the story that got me into comics, and so it's very special to me. And it's not my favorite story, but it's definitely a special story to me. I think everyone's first story, like intro to comics, is very special to them. Like you have Civil War, right? Spider-Man Civil War.
Yes, Ultimate Spider-Man and Civil War, yeah. Oh man, if they animated the series, those things, or
See?
a movie, or geez.
See? What about you?
Making the knees here.
My first comic.
Yeah, I actually got you into it. Like, I like this stuff. I'm proud.
Well, I remember like one of the first ones that I would read back when I was a
Wee laddie.
wee lad. I remember, I forgot who bought it. I think it was probably my grandma. But Barnes and Noble had this the Masterworks collection. So me and my brother had Spider-Man, X-Men, Daredevil, and I think Fantastic Four. So I don't remember which ones we got first, but that sort of helped us get into comics, and here we are.
Yeah. We're gonna. I just my brain segued back to Weird Al. I can't get over the fact that Weird Al is doing the voice of the villain because I understand he's done voice work before. I mean, he's on Robot Chicken every once in a while. He's does stuff for Billy and Mandy. But
Did it in Transformers also.
He was in Transformers.
I forgot which series. I think it was Transformers Animated. It was like the one that was like American cartoony, and he voiced Wreck-Gar.
Nice.
If you watch the episode, you can definitely tell it's Weird Al.
Yeah, he does have a distinct voice. I'm a big Weird Al fan. To anyone who doesn't know, it should be no surprise if you know me. I'm a big Weird Al fan. I mean, I bought UHF recently. That movie just makes me chuckle. In fact, yesterday morning, no, it was this morning, we heard Weird Al on the radio, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. It's like, he's on the radio, yes! And it was one of his older songs, but I just can't imagine him doing a villainous role, because I'm so used to him being so Weird Al.
Yeah.
And I'm really giddy about that. They released a second trailer for Age of Ultron this week. It's awesome. You can see Hulkbuster versus Hulk stuff. It's awesome. Actually, you can see Avengers fighting each other mostly.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed. It's a lot of Avengers fighting.
I haven't seen anyone throw a fist at Ultron yet.
Yeah.
Just at each other.
So.
And various goons.
Goons.
I think Ultron's throwing a fist at Cap, if I remember.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Or he's holding him up like this. I
And
know at
then-
one point he shoots lightning out of his hands.
There's I remember seeing one, it was like a fast motion that Ultron did. I don't know if it was the lightning they did, but I remember seeing him punch.
What else came out recently?
I think Marvel and Sony had a meeting. I think they confirmed that Spider-Man is going to be in Avengers Infinity War Part 1 or Part 2. I'm not sure which one.
Sony came out and publicly denied that.
Oh, they did?
Yes. Very sad. I actually didn't even find out about those rumors until I saw that Sony had denied it. And I was like, oh, why would they tell me this? I didn't even know.
Oh, would you break my heart like that?
It broke my heart before I even fell in love.
I don't know. I think they're fighting hard for this.
Oh, yeah. Just because they denied it doesn't mean it's not really happening.
Yeah. I mean, how many people would deny that they're gay?
Yeah, my parents told me there's no Santa Claus. Come on, let's be serious here.
Those presents should get under the tree somehow.
Yeah.
And if my parents ain't doing it, then it has to be Santa Claus, right?
Yeah.
But there is no Easter Bunny.
No, that's hard science right there.
Eggs are just naturally occurring in the wild.
It really is there was a bunch of news, but I just can't think of any of it because it was sporadically came out.
And it has been a month.
Yeah, it has been a month. So since it had been a Christmas break, a holiday break, what did you guys get? I mean, I brought a big stack of things just to talk about.
Among the many books that I got, let's see. I'll start with, I'd asked for this one. It's Venom Carnage, and it's just 4 issues, and it's the origin story of the character.
Toxin?
Toxin, which is he's the 1000th symbiote he's the 1000th generation, and with that, the 1000th symbiote is more powerful, and Carnage is the one giving the offspring, and Carnage just hates him. Hates the fact that he's
inferior.
or he will be inferior, and he wants to kill this his offspring.
It's very
But
primal.
and then you have Venom, who wants to actually use this offspring as an ally and build him up and have him help take down Spider-Man. So it's a Carnage the father and Venom the grandfather trying to fight over the fate of this kid. But the symbiote takes over a police officer. I'm drawing a blank on the name because I know there's a whole bunch of people that can possess a symbiote.
Yeah, there are a bunch of people that possess symbiotes.
And there's people that just possess it, even if it's a one-time thing. And
I
there's
want Spider-Man.
and the whole the family tree for the symbiotes it's a very elaborate tree also.
I've just from my Wikipedia research of the symbiotes, it gets too deep for me. That rabbit hole goes on for a while.
And so I know there's another symbiote named Hybrid, which is a combination of 4 separate ones, I think.
No,
Yeah, it's like four Venom's children, something like that. Most of them die. They're like the only one I remember is the female one, which is Scream.
And that's why all 4 of them like form into one. And I'm actually I want to look into like Carnage USA, which is like a sequel to that. And
there's a lot of really nice looking Carnage art with him draped in flags. I
Yeah.
guess it's from Carnage USA. That's bizarre
yeah.
though.
Yeah, that one right there.
Bizarre.
It's a cool image though.
It is a cool image, but
and in that one, if I remember correctly, is like Carnage pretty much attacks this town in the middle of nowhere, and they send in the Avengers, and I don't remember who all gets. Well, they pretty much get taken over. Some of the Avengers get taken over by the symbiotes,
Oh god.
and it also features Agent Venom in it.
Nice.
So that's another reason why I want to read it is it's some of the symbiote characters are pretty interesting. I think.
So are there 2 Venoms going on? The Agent Venom and regular Venom?
I think it's the symbiote just goes to a different person, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's also the fact that. So it all started out with.
Okay, everyone, get comfortable.
There's the history lesson. There's going to be a rough history lesson. Started out in the Secret Wars when the Black Suit Spider-Man came out. That
Okay.
was the original symbiote. That symbiote, once it was removed from Peter, it had gained this hatred for Peter and wanted to get revenge. And so it found Eddie Brock
Who hates Peter Parker?
also. So
That makes sense.
they both hate and they work together. A good symbiotic relationship.
Oh,
And then from there, there's, like I've said, there's a whole bunch of different symbiotes and different hosts. But at some point, Eddie does get separated from the symbiote. And at one point, Matt Gargan, who is also known as Scorpion, is the host for this Venom. He is Venom at one point. And then, let's see, who else? I think at some point he might have gotten back to Eddie. And then, let's see, there, once I don't remember who does it, but some effect where Eddie gets the suit ripped off of him again.
It's
And
gonna stop that.
and so at some point, from that effect, it's like some negative effect, and the white blood cells in Eddie have fused to the symbiote, which cause him to become
Anti-Venom.
anti-venom, who is, and what I had found out was at this point Eddie is in control of the symbiote, so he is a hero. All his powers are more healing, but since the suit was ripped off of him, it then goes to Shield had taken hold of the symbiote and had this experimental project in which Flash Thompson since he was a veteran, Shield has him trained to actually use this, making him Agent Venom.
okay.
Oh, I didn't know it was Flash. That's pretty neat.
I keep on staring at this cover to Venom Carnage, and every time I see Carnage, he's unstable. Like he physically is unstable. Like the symbiote's always trying to go somewhere. I was thinking how awesome a Greg Capullo Venom or Carnage would look. How like insane that would look.
Yeah.
Because like I think of when I think of Carnage, I always think of his Spawn work immediately, and I think it'd look a lot more like Spawn than it does his Batman stuff, and it would just be a crazy mess, but be awesome at the same time.
And sometimes when Spawn's cape is more painterly, it does look a lot like the
Yeah.
Carnage symbiote.
Where it's just kind of everywhere doing whatever the hell. Yeah.
Another book I got was the team up of Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom.
Neat.
Which is a weird team up.
That is a complete. The only thing they have in common is Doctor.
But in this, what happens is Doctor Doom's mother is in hell, I think. Or I can just read the back of it. Every year on Midsummer's Eve, Victor Von Doom clashes with the forces of evil in a vain attempt to free his mother's soul from hell. But only when Doctor Strange is finally convinced to join the fight does Doom have any hope of altering the outcome in his favor. The unlikely allies must first journey to Mephisto's infernal realm, where they find the cost of one soul may be more than they're willing to pay. And so, I think it's an interesting concept. Doctor Doom is one of my favorite villains, just because his complexity is he is a dictator, so he truly does have the well-being of it, or he does have concern for the people of his country. Now, it may not be for their best interest, but it's still, I think it's an interesting character detail. Another book I got was, I finished up, had to get book 10 of The Walking Dead, just because I have it in hardback. So I just want to...
Gotta keep it classy with the hardback.
Gotta keep up the trend.
Yeah.
And I also got Marvel's Masterworks Fantastic Four #5. In this, it's mostly galactic things. So it has the Inhumans, it has Galactus, Silver Surfer, and it also has the wedding of Sue Storm and Reed Richards. So I picked it up, and
The things I like about getting stuff like that, I picked up the Black Case Files, which is a Batman, very similar thing. It's one of those kind of recommended reads if you really want to kind of understand the Grant Morrison run on Batman, because he takes a lot of stuff from these strange older tales, and is getting used to the old school comics are for kids type writing, and you do start to really appreciate how they evolve. But once you get in that mindset, like, okay, this was written like this for a reason, it becomes real fun. It's like when you get that the 66 Batman's a comedy, not supposed to be taken serious.
then I also found, let's see, this is Avengers 196, the first appearance, or first feature of the Taskmaster. And he's one of my favorite villains also, because he can mimic anyone he's fighting, so he can study them really quickly and suddenly just like master their fighting style.
That and I was actually about to ask you who the Taskmaster is, because I've heard of him, but I didn't know what he did. Because, well, I'm not that big in Marvel. So, interesting.
And then also got the 66 series of the Batman TV show.
Now, this is something I wanted to talk about. We've been watching a couple episodes because, well, we have it. Why not watch it, right? And the way the characters are portrayed are very interesting. Like various characters, like the Riddler. The way they do the Riddler in the show, he is one step away from being one of the best Jokers ever. He's always giggling. He's maniacal. He's like, to the point he's kind of frightening.
He's
like,
limber too.
Yeah, he is. He's very limber. He's kind of bouncing around. He's like, this should have been the Joker. It really should have. And I love watching. It's Frank Gorshin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Frank Gorshin do this character. It's super entertaining. It's super fun. Their Penguin is my all-time favorite Penguin. As of right now, is my favorite Penguin on screen.
Yeah.
It's. I think to me, he feels like he's the most true to the books, because he's a man of elegance, if you will. He speaks. I always say this. He speaks in alliterations. That does not mean he's elegant, but he does feel like he's more classy. I was never really happy with the Tim Burton Danny DeVito Penguin. Danny DeVito makes a great Penguin. I just don't like the choices they made with that one. So what I've been watching is really good. I really have been enjoying the 66 Batman. Their Mr. Freeze is really interesting too, because of good old Paul Dini and Bruce Timm in the Batman anime series. Most of us have a set idea of how Mr. Freeze is. He's one of those characters. He's like the whole noir concept of him trying to rescue his wife. Batman's just a bothersome. He's in the way of him trying to save his wife. That came from the anime series. Since this is a very much older Mr. Freeze, is a very different take on him. And this, he's a German. who is classy. He is like he's a sophisticated. He really is. Who just happens to need coal to survive. And he does ice-themed thefts, like they specifically jewels in
Or
this.
it's more like temperature, because his
Yeah.
freezing ray
Yeah.
gun is also flamethrower.
Yeah, he
Really?
yeah.
At one point, that's how he breaks into the bank. Is he freezes the vault door and then he blasts it with heat, and so that just causes it to explode.
Oh.
Which is actually really clever. And we were talking about that.
They
and,
would never see this coming.
right. We were talking and like how we kept on like referring to like jewels as ice, like diamonds as ice, and he's like, "What about the cocaine business, like drugs? It's called snow, right? Like I've never even considered Mr. Freeze as a drug lord. How freaking crazy that would be."
Oh man, here you want to know the drug lord too.
Um,
Freezing his enemy's hands off. They cross him.
do a line. Freeze him to a line. Awesome. Before I get on my list, I think the last issue I talked about something I pulled off the shelf
Mhm.
was Superman for All Seasons. While I was away, I actually got around to reading this. If you want to understand, if you're a person who does not like Superman, there are two books you need to read: All Star Superman and Superman for All Seasons. This book is phenomenal, and what it is, it's various people's takes on Superman, how they feel about him, like what they like about him, why they think he does what he does. It starts out with Jonathan Kent, and then moves to Lois Lane, then Lana Lang, and Lex Luthor, and it's about how Superman has affected their lives, all while telling a story, a kind of a historical story of Superman, of why he is the way he is. And it's really good. It gave me the feels, and I'm a heartless bastard. It's like it was like, whew, oh man. I put it down, walk around, and look at people and get angry again. But onwards. So for 2 weeks in a row, I had one issue.
That is one thick book.
One issue in my regular pull, and I can't have that. I cannot justify going to a comic shop and spend only $3. So for 2 weeks in a row, I spent about $100 in trade papers.
Yeah,
Lord.
to even it out.
Yeah, just to balance it out. So I'm going to go quickly through these. Most of these are second and third volumes to series that I started. There is a general trend, not necessarily on purpose. One example is Grant Morrison. His name will pop up a lot because I started some of his books. I want to continue the runs. That makes sense. So the first thing I'm holding right here is third volume of his JLA run. It's just like America, but it's just called JLA. The first two volumes are great. The first story in the first volume is awesome. It's about superheroes that come to Earth to replace the Justice League. Has a great twist. It also has one of my all-time favorite one-offs called World of Tomorrow or Woman of Tomorrow. Can't remember, but it's phenomenal. I highly recommend peering into that.
I can always figure out like what era this takes place in by who is Green Lantern,
Yeah.
and if Batman has the spiky things on his shoulder.
Yeah, if he has spiky shoulders, if Superman has a mullet, or if who's Green Lantern. And if Aquaman has his hand or not.
Oh,
This one he
yes.
has his hook in. So this
And
is
that armor on his arm.
yeah. So this is definitely 90s, late 90s, 98 actually, Justice League.
Every time I think of like 90s and heroes, I think of the X-Men animated series. And
Yeah.
show.
Dude, that theme song gets you all freaking crazy. I wanted to try something a little different, and so I went to Justice League Dark, picked that up. I like Zatanna. I think she's an awesome character. And she's just, I don't know, something about the character is awesome. She knows magic. This also has Enchantress, one of the members of as a villain of the Suicide Squad upcoming movie. John Constantine's in it. From what I understand, the idea of Justice League Dark is the more mystical side of the DC universe. They take things that the Justice League can't quite handle, which is magic. A lot of people don't realize Superman can't fight magic. Magic is like 10,000% effective against Superman. Okay, another book by Mr. Grant Morrison.
Oh Lord.
We Three. This one, I read this in like fairly quickly in the afternoon because I was in this kind of the artist is Frank Whiteley and kind of got on a kick on him, so I wanted to see more of his art. and so I picked up this book. His stuff with Grant Morrison's always pretty damn good, and this book is it's a must read. It really is a must read because the only way I can describe it is imagine the movie Homeward Bound, except
make it sick.
Make it super sick in the best in all the good ways you could. Our three protagonists are a cat, a dog, and a rabbit. The catch is they were kidnapped by the government. Oh, I can't say kidnapped, but they were taken by the government and turned into super weapons. And then they were told we're supposed to be exterminated, and they were let free. And this is them just trying to get home, and the government chasing after them. It's a short one-off, but somehow these three animals get you pulled in so quickly that you start feeling for them, like quicker than any other human character.
They're just so damn innocent, man. And like they're part of like this sick web of deceit and lies and espionage, and like, man,
Right?
they're just so damn cute.
Right? Like it is such a great book. I'm so glad. I picked it up digitally first, and so I was reading it panel by panel, which kind of gave this huge cinematic feel. David here, first time he read it was he started reading it on my tablet, seeing it digital, and I ended up but after I bought this, I had him read it all the way, and he was.
There's one panel where the doctor who is like their trainer is holding the puppy's face, and the puppy looks so relieved to see her, and he's so happy. He just closes his eyes, and I just like, I haven't had a dog in a long time, but man, those feels.
Continuing on with Mr. Grant Morrison, the next few books are going to be his. I heard Animal Man was some of his best work. Some of his also one of his early stuff. And so a while back, I picked up his first volume of his trade, and it was really good. One issue of note is called The Coyote Gospel, which is, if you have a digital comics, hunt down that issue with anything, because that is on a different plane.
It's very different.
And it opens your eyes to things and makes you think about things. And pretty much from that issue on, it continues with themes of the Animal Man's run, continues of themes of reality, what is existence, what is not, continuity, stuff like that. What happens to characters when they get removed continuity in the DC universe.
Grant Morrison is really tripping on something. And
Yeah.
It's great for the reader.
And it gets to the point, builds up, that Grant Morrison himself appears in the book. In a way that's like, what? But it's a completely enjoyable conclusion. There's even a joke where he's talking about how, because Animal Man gets to the point he realizes he's a comic book character. Grant Morrison doesn't say it to him, but he realizes that he's not real. And to a sense, he is real, but he isn't. If that makes any sense.
Self-aware.
Yeah, and Grant Morrison mentions something along the lines. Ah, crap! I forgot what film it is. So never mind. I'll continue on. But him appearing, my brain fucking lost it. Grant Morrison appearing in this made him a DC character, and because of that, he eventually appeared in Suicide Squad. That's one reason why I went back and picked up these other volumes to see what led to that. And his appearance in Suicide Squad apparently is brief but comical. Next on the list of the Morrison stuff is his second volume, Invisibles. Invisibles is a book that heavily inspired The Matrix, so if you like The Matrix and that outward thinking, and a lot of this is Morrison's personal ideas and experiences and views on the world put into a book. So naturally, it's fucking crazy and really out there. Kind of a heavy book, so you have to...
I think everyone just heard a thud, too, just over the speaker right now.
Yeah, that's just because I mean, yeah, the second volume's huge. I didn't realize how big it was. The cool thing is the lead character's name is my name, so it's like the book is talking to me, and it's freaking weird. It's like,
especially considering the book's probably already weird to begin with.
yeah.
It's like either of us open it up and it says our names.
That would be terrifying. Next is Flex Mantello. This is another Frank Wiley, Grant Morrison collaboration. I have no idea what it's about, but again, I was on a Frank Wiley kick. I like his art. I want to get more of it. I almost picked up
What is it called again?
Flex Mantello, Man of Muscle Mastery. I don't know what it's about. I have no idea.
All
But
you need to know is man.
there's a huge burly man on the cover, but
And he's flexing. Check out the back. He's flexing harder in the back.
dude, he is flexing hard in the back. Guy's jacked. So I'm really looking forward to reading this when I get around to it. I almost picked up Grant Morrison and Frank Whiteley's work on they did Justice League Earth 2, which has like the crime syndicate. I almost picked that up today when we had Local Heroes. It was like, no, I have a huge stack I need to fucking read first. Next is something completely different. It's the newest volume of American Vampire. It's actually very small. I'm not very happy with how small it is, and I'm kind of upset because right now American Vampire is either on a hiatus or they canceled it. I actually need to do some research because they haven't had a new issue in a long time. It's a great series, and they
Tell the audience what's American Vampire about.
American Vampire is something that Scott Snyder and Raphael Albuquerque and Stephen King created for Vertigo, and it takes place. It took the ideas of vampires and kind of brought them back to the horror roots. The first volume, actually, it's great. It's a great series if you want to do horror, something gory, something rooted in mystery and surprises and history, because American history, because it's the book itself. The first volume starts in the 1920s, and they're currently in the 70s right now. And even there's a couple issues that flash back to.
It's chronological. Like it keep going.
For the most part, it's chronological.
Oh,
yeah,
neat.
there's a couple issues that flash back to the 1800s, to not the Revolutionary War, but the shortly after the Civil War, and where America was still kind of taking over the plains and stuff.
Industrial Revolution.
Not quite.
Manifest Destiny.
Yeah, it has some Manifest Destiny things going on in it. Like one of them has to do with an Indian tribe, and American Vampire refers to the American strain of vampires. Is the first American type breed, which includes new weaknesses, new strengths, and stuff like that.
Oh, that's neat. I didn't know.
Yeah, and they're throughout the series they explain all these branches and stuff. It's a really good series. It's very complex, very tightly woven. The vampires that most people are familiar with are the Eastern European vampires, Dracula, stuff like that. He makes an appearance, and his appearance is awesome. There's been a lot of great writers. The guy, Sean Murphy's done a bit. Jeff Lemire's done a little bit. Darwin Cook's done a bit of writing and art. It's a great series. Raphael Albuquerque, his pages are phenomenal, and like just because they almost look like paintings in a weird way. I mean, they almost paint like, and his covers are phenomenal for each issue. Like there's so much color and life. They're just great issues.
Yes.
They're just great covers. And last but not least is a series I started a while ago, but I have not actually continued picking up the issues. And the reason why I picked up the start of the series to begin with was because of the art and the art alone. It is Superman and Wonder Woman by Charles Soule and Tony S. Daniels. DC recently made Superman and Wonder Woman a couple. I can't say recently. They did. They made Superman and Wonder Woman a couple. Isn't the first time, but it makes sense for those two to fornicate.
Kill anyone else.
I mean, yeah, it's the super couple. I mean, even the first volume is called Power Couple.
Batman's just the third wheel.
He is. He's the third wheel in that trinity. And when it comes down to it, Wonder Woman is the closest person who can suit Superman's anatomy, because we've mentioned the Man of Steel Woman of Tissue Paper essay, possibly when Cheap was with us, talking about how Superman could not have sex with Lois Lane; it would kill her. Wonder Woman could. Now, his DNA probably wouldn't matter, so they probably couldn't have a kid, because think about it, he's an alien, so his DNA works completely different from humans. But then again, in the New 52, Wonder Woman's the daughter of Zeus and an Amazonian queen, so yeah, who knows how that'd work out. But the
It's
art
written by one of my favorite authors too.
Yeah.
Like,
Charles Soule.
yeah, like I've loved everything that I've read by him. He does really great. Like I'm almost at the point where if a new comic comes out and it has his name on it, I might just pick it up.
Yeah, that's why I am with Morrison and friggin' Scott Snyder. Like, oh, so here they are. I'll just pick it up. I just won't even think about it. I'll just pick it up. But the art, like, Tony S. Daniel is a great artist. Great pencilist. Pretty great inker. Because I think he inks his own stuff, from what I understand. But whoever he has for his color, doing his color work, is off the hook. Like, part of what makes Greg Capullo's stuff really good is his colorist, FCO.
Yes.
But this guy, it's a tough competition. I have a hard time figuring out who I like more because of it. Because there's like, FCO is really good at a lot of the details in the background stuff, like blood splatters.
FCO matches Capullo's work.
Yes, it does have that dark, gritty, almost flatness to it, and it's weird. There's a weird.
There's a flatness, but there's also like a life to it. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Whoever is doing the color for Tony here is. There's a lot of life, a lot of color, and
It's bold, yeah.
yeah, it is. It's very big, which it's perfect for a book like this because it is Superman and Wonder Woman as a couple. Zod shows up, Batman shows up.
It's like color fitting of like Jim Lee stuff. Like,
It is, yeah. I could easily see Jim Lee being colored like this, and it would be great. Doomsday shows up in this. I mean, I think this is his first appearance in the New 52. Actually, is Doomsday's.
I just flipped through that only a little bit, and I saw him fairly close to the beginning of the book too.
Yeah.
Start with a bang.
I think Bait. Bait, I think, is the name of the colors. I just saw a little tag on a page, on like a color stamp, essentially underneath his signature. Yeah. Oh, Bat. Bat is his colors. Bat Sandu Florea. Huh. No, that's inks. Oh, Tamu Moray is his colorist. Apparently, he works for Hi-Fi Colors or some shit.
Uh-oh.
Hi-Fi Colors is what it says. Huh. It's freaking great, though. It's beautiful stuff. I highly recommend just looking at the book. You'll get great enjoyment out of that. It's great. So, we've been talking about that forever. Onwards to our favorite topics list. Since we've been traveling this time around, road trip buddies seemed like the best choice. David here drove from Virginia to Arizona and
Good
back.
Lord. Sure
How-
did.
How many days of travel did you do?
I had 10 days off, and I spent 5 days driving.
Ugh, gross.
That's why I'm okay with just flying.
I'm okay with flying too.
I would have been okay with just flying, but I don't have a grand lying around for a plane ticket.
Yeah. Fair
Flying
enough.
early.
Friggin'. You know what? The problem with flying is, once you get to your destination, you're dependent on other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I live about 15 to 20 minutes outside of town, so I didn't want to be bumming. Especially
Yeah.
when, like, so many people are already at work or, like,
Yeah. I mean, it sucks. So, who wants to go first? I know you were having issues thinking of some, so maybe.
yes, and I think I'll stay out of giving a list this time just because I have to go because work later.
Okay.
But I still want to stick around and chime in
All right.
time to time.
You want to go first?
I didn't come up with like a priority.
All right.
So,
We usually just go random anyways.
Yeah.
all
I
right.
actually was able to as I made the list, I made it in reverse priority. So, because that's immediately the people I thought of, like, oh, this, and this.
I went okay for mine. Let's see. I'd have to go with for one of them would be Deadpool, just because it would
Yeah.
also.
See,
Of course, he'll drive you crazy, but
See, I put him on my list too, because of how interesting of a car ride that would be.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
It's yeah, dumb shit like that. Yeah, it'd make it for an interesting ride, and it wouldn't be boring. And
so
that's why
as long as you weren't the driver and you weren't the one he was annoying, it would be funny.
yeah, if you're in the back seat, just watch him. It's like I'm not touching you to the driver.
Oh,
Oh man, that would be funny.
See, I had another one, but forgot it. Oh, Hawkeye.
Hawkeye
Just
would be good.
He'd be realistic, and
I bet he would have great taste in music too. I bet he like classic rock.
Yeah,
I bet he's a classic rock
You
type guy.
have like
Yeah.
a good mix going on.
Barry Allen.
Yep.
Just because he's also just kind of he's not serious.
I
and-
agree. He would make an interest. And you know what? If this trip is taking too long, he can just get out and push.
Yeah.
Or like you can be like, "Is there a gas station coming up?" And he'll just like, "Oh, let me go check."
Yep. How far? We got a while.
Don't worry, it just took me a second or two to get there.
And if you run out of gas, it'll just take a second or two for him to get you gas again.
I could really use a Gatorade right now.
Seas?
see.
Nice.
Two other ones. You'd have to come back to me on that. I'm still
Okay.
thinking.
So, in my list, reverse order, bottom of the list, Tony Stark.
Okay.
Because, again, he'd bring some stuff to keep him entertained. He'd bring cool gadgets. We could probably even take his car.
Yeah.
Cars.
Yeah. He'd look at your car and he'd be like, "Are you serious?"
I mean, he does that in Hawkeye, doesn't he? Like, he looks at Hawkeye stuff like, are you serious? Like, I could get you some better stuff, better equipment. It's like, no, I got this. But I would be like, hell yeah, let's hop in your car, Tony. It'd be fun. Number 4 is Deadpool as well, because seriously, the same reason. Why wouldn't you want to road trip with Deadpool other than the fact that he might kill you?
And it would drive you insane.
Yes. When making this list, after I made it, I realized how insane of a car this would be to have all these people together. Like if I was in a band with all of these people.
Yeah.
Next is John Constantine. To me, John Constantine is one of those characters. As long as you're not doing anything like fighting, like you could just hang out with that guy,
Yeah.
and it would be interesting. And it would just be small stuff that you do interesting. And he speaks with an accent. I can just
This is true.
accents drive me crazy. I love accents. I can listen to English, Scottish, Irish, Australian accents all day. As long as they speak English as a language and it has an accent, I can listen to it all day. Number 2 was also Barry Allen. Again, same reasons. He wouldn't be boring. If you need something, you could go get it. He could get out and push. Hell, we could just abandon the car and just take a run trip to a nearest lake and just swim around for a bit, come back. Wouldn't even lose much time. My number 1 road trip companion, Santana.
Of course.
1, she knows magic. If you're thirsty, boom, drinks. If you're tired of the road trip, boom, you're there.
You're
Well,
running
she's
low
gotta
on gas.
practice
Like
all that. You,
She doesn't have to practice it. She just has to say it backwards.
Yeah, I was
just
gonna
gotta
say,
take practice. To
sag.
do that. She doesn't.
and there goes your gas tank.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, instant refill gas, instant teleportation. She dresses nice. Well, nice-ish. She dresses skimpy, and is having a road tripping with a chick. That's a plus.
Yeah.
The car will smell significantly better, guaranteed.
I still don't know for mine. The last 2.
As an honorable mention, I'll throw in either Magneto or Charles Xavier.
Ooh.
Yeah, just because it'd be a long trip, and they could tell me all about why they think what they think about like the whole mutant issue.
Yeah, they could actually sway you to one
Yeah.
direction or the other.
Persuade me.
Because imagine having a road trip with both of them and say, "Okay, Drummond, the debate begins now. It ends when we arrive.
Yeah.
You are trying to get me on your side."
Oh, that would be one hell of a road trip.
Probably one hell of a debate too. I don't
No
know.
powers,
Uh,
just tell me.
Yeah. Use your words.
They're both very smart people, both very charismatic.
They both want the same thing though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
just
thing.
by
Different
different
needs.
goals.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the interesting thing about those two characters. I personally find Magneto more charismatic. Xavier is a better, like not necessarily a better leader, but more fatherly leader. But I find Magneto has a lot more charisma to him because he's had such I would say a kind of a harsher life, a younger life, and because he has such a younger life, he's just more like I can't say more passionate, but he's more physically passionate about things.
Yeah, he's
And
more physically passionate,
exuberance.
but both of them have had some.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean
both of
Xavier
them
can't
have-
walk.
Both of them have hard lives. It's just Magneto's a little more emotional about it,
Yeah.
and Charles will accept it and just kind of
He keeps cool about it.
What
he's more fatherly, like you were saying.
what I thought was very interesting about the Charles and Magneto debate is that I found a very good description of their relationship in the back of a DVD box for X-Men 3,
Okay.
which I thought was really weird because I had just read the back of a DVD box for another really great movie, and it was just a horrid, like,
Synopsis.
action! Yeah, watch this movie, best movie ever! Watch butts getting kicked. And I read the back of that one for X-Men, and it was like only 2 or 3 sentences. And it just described them so well, like 2 very close old friends who want the same thing for their kind, except one wants the peaceful route and the other one is militaristic about it. And I was like, wow, great.
And I find
kind
it funny
of
that
weird.
Magneto wants to go the more violent route. I find it ironic.
Very.
Because of his history, the fact that he was part of the freaking Holocaust, and that's exactly what he wants to do. He wants to kind of do a Holocaust on non-mutants.
Oh no, I just thought of someone else that you'd want. I've been trying to think of an X-Men that I would bring, and I would bring Forge.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah. There you
nice.
go.
So not only are we bringing these guys for entertainment along on our ride, but for practicality, Ford would be pretty good.
Don't have to worry about breaking down. In fact, all you have to worry about is randomly upgrading. Oh, why am I suddenly going 200? Sorry about that.
My car keeps getting better.
Couldn't complain that much about that.
No.
Um,
Uh,
I'd still have to think about who else I'd want. I mean, a whole bunch of characters are good.
could you imagine, like, because we talked about having both Magneto and Xavier in the same car with each other. Could you imagine having a bunch of some of these characters? Like for example, if you put Batman and Tony Stark in the same car with each other and you're stuck in a car for like 12 hours,
Lord.
how and Oliver Queen, because those characters are very similar.
Yeah.
Multi-billionaire playboys that are vigilantes. Well, two of them are vigilantes. One of them's an actual superhero.
I think it'd be like a rock, paper, scissors of who hates who. Because I have a feeling, well, Tony Stark would annoy both, I think he would annoy Batman. Oliver Queen would be annoyed by Batman. And then
I think they both would be annoyed by Batman. It's grim.
I think everyone would just be annoyed by everyone.
Yeah.
They just hate each other.
Yeah, I think they were just well. Batman and Oliver Queen don't necessarily hate each other. Like they get along fairly well.
They're just
It's
they're
Oliver Queen's more. It's closer to
he's
hippie.
more
He's
action.
more hippie.
Oh, yeah.
He's very liberal. Is the best way to put it. He's like all about kind of. He's more of an actual playboy and more kind of like he is truly against big weaponry and stuff like that. And he's not necessarily a conspirator, like a conspiracy theorist, but he's against like big government and stuff like that too. And so Bruce Wayne
So
with
it's
Batman
more-
Incorporated is like, no, we need this authority. Yeah.
So it's more like Oliver with his left, Batman's more neutral, and then Tony would be a little more right. But they're all essentially under the same, but
Yeah. And
or as opposed to weapons.
yeah. And that's what I like
Tony
about
Stark is a weapon too.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I like about those characters is like they have a very similar origin story. Like all their parents are dead. They're all multi-billionaire playboys. They all live a double life.
And they're all considered just humans.
Yes.
And
No-
living in superhuman worlds.
And the fact that they have taken three very different routes of acquiring the same goal. I mean, Tony Stark initially was created to be hated because he was a weapons dealer and he did everything like the character was written to be hated, but people end up liking him anyway. And then you got Oliver Queen, who was a weapons dealer who got attempted assassinated by his bodyguard and left for dead. Then woke up on an island and fought to survive. And then you got Bruce Wayne, who, well, everyone knows his Batman backstory. I'm not going into detail about that. If you ever
just bitten by a radioactive spider bat.
get
Just a rich kid, and then his parents died, and he did something with it.
yeah,
He
just
used that
use
as
now.
he used that as motivation.
I don't think he's quite against weaponry as much as
Oliver.
Oliver is, because Batman is very prominent using his weapons, his guns and stuff like that, lasers and stuff like that.
Yeah, his guns just don't
Lasers.
shoot. They just don't shoot bullets at people. That's the only thing.
His hazmat suits. He loves his tech. Tony Stark loves his tech in a different way. He's OCD about suits for every situation, where Batman's OCD about every situation and having something for it.
I think lately, Iron Man has like become his tech too. Like it's in his bloodstream.
Yeah.
It was for extremists for a while, but like they did away with that. But now like his armor comes out of his pores. I think
That's
like
awesome.
liquid metal kind of stuff.
Is that like a superior Iron Man?
Yeah, I think so.
Superior Iron Man is with this whole Axis thing where he's essentially become evil now.
What?
The whole Axis thing is everyone, essentially their alliance is just like shifted. So now,
Is that why Deadpool was doing the kind of Buddhist thing for a bit?
yeah,
Okay.
where he's all pacifist, and And like in that, if you're reading Deadpool, you'll like whenever he interacts with any of the X-Men who were on Genosha when this event happened, like they're all, I think it's just like I forgot who all was there, but it's everyone's becoming like full of hate, and just kind of it's they're pretty much evil.
Hmm.
And that Carnage is actually part of that too, and he has an interesting story, or he plays an interesting role in it.
Really need to catch up on Deadpool. I'm like 40. I mean, like ever since Deadpool started, I have every issue, but I haven't been reading it. So I just got this big ass stack of Deadpool I need to read. That's actually something I probably should do sometime today or tomorrow. Is go through my stack and freaking.
Just need to redeem all the digital codes.
So
Yeah.
someone who's obsessed with purses, but you never wear any of them.
Yeah.
These bags I have.
Well, I also need to bag and board a lot of stuff. They're just in big local hero bags that are in a box. I just need to bag and board them. I'll probably do that tonight, actually. What else? I had something else I was going to ask. A quick question. We should probably acknowledge suggestions that we got from like other crossover actors, or why he looked it up. Suggestions for other crossover actors from listeners. Why he looks it up. I saw a Reddit thread. Somebody asked a question. What book do you think feels like belongs in the opposite company's series? For example,
What?
Yeah.
what DC book feels like it could fit into the Marvel universe? What Marvel book feels like it could fit into the DC universe? And
That's
from
really
what,
hard to say.
yeah, and from what I've been seeing, the current run of Batgirl feels very Marvel-y. It's very lighthearted and could easily fit in Marvel along with Harley Quinn. Especially, could you imagine a Harley Quinn Deadpool crossover? How crazy that would be.
Yeah.
And apparently some of like the Axis stuff feels like it could easily I hear Superior, not Superior, but the Spider Verse event right now sounds super DC, like Christ, like as you put it, Crisis on Infinite Spider Man, or
Yeah.
it's a multiverse thing, and like to the point that they've pulled things from the
Marvel's
1960s.
Marvel's known for its multiverse too.
Yeah, like they're pulling things from the like 1960s Japanese TV show to the 60s cartoon as well.
They're even doing different suits. Like I remember, I've been reading some of the issues, and in one of them, the Iron Spider dies
Nice.
from the Civil War.
Yeah.
And so it's actually like from every Spider variant universe.
Which is weird because the Iron
Has
Spider is even
popped
like
up?
he isn't even like a different Spider-Man. He's just a different time in Spider-Man's life.
Oh, and that's the point of the multiverse.
Is Scarlet Spider showed up yet?
Yeah, there's actually a series, a short series, or mini series, called Scarlet Spiders, and where both, or actually three of them team up. It's Ben Reilly teams up with Kane and Jessica Drew of the Ultimate Universe.
What about
Ooh, I like Jessica Drew of the Ultimate Universe.
2099?
Origin.
2099.
I think that's one of the ones that haven't popped up yet.
I think he had some tie-ins, but I'd have to. Yeah, he has some in the Spider-Verse.
Man, that's gonna be a huge.
Because he's one of the main dudes. Because you have like regular Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, 2099, and Noir. Like those are the guys who came out in the video game a while ago, and like they're just big guys. Which I'm surprised Noir came out with that because it's only had like 2 books.
Really?
Yeah.
Freaking, yes. I'm thinking about looking into the whole Spider-Verse thing, just because it is something very like crazy and grand. And I like reading that type of stuff. That's one reason why I like reading Grant Morrison's big epics, because there's so much going on. I have to read it a couple of times, to grasp it all.
The prologue's out, I think, or it's the Road to Spider-Verse.
And for me, it's the opposite effect. I love Spider-Man. Turned off by Spider-Verse.
Really?
Very turned off by it. Too much. Too much.
And you know what?
You'll never be able to see it all. You'll never use everything to its full potential.
You know what? I understand where you're coming from. Especially, I like, especially if you're somebody, if you're, David and I are very different when it comes to purchasing comics. I'm very liquid with my money. Robles is very reserved. Is a nice way of putting it.
Yes.
He's
Cheap-
okay.
Cheap bastard.
He's okay with buying just one issue. I'm not. and that's a big event like that. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of issues you have to
Yes.
deal with. Um, I'm like, I want all the things.
Yeah.
So you got the list up or
Yep.
the suggestions? All right.
Yep. I've seen here's Alex Kingston. He's in Arrow, Doctor, and in Doctor Who. Let's see some other ones. I don't know. I think Liam Neeson. There, he is in a bunch of different franchises.
He is. He's in everything. It's
Michelle
weird that
Pfeiffer.
guy becoming an action hero. So blows my mind. He's gonna be the next Lego movie.
Is it?
No, he's in
No.
the last one.
Yeah, he's in. Like, he's a
Good
bad-
cop. Yeah, good
he's
cop,
a
bad cop. Yeah.
And,
He's hilarious. Oh, he's in the next Ted. That's what he's gonna be. So.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Other than being Catwoman.
The other example they have here is Lady Hawk.
Oh, okay.
Frank Gorshin, who was in.
He was the
Not-
Riddler.
He's not only is he the Riddler, he's in Star Trek and he's in Twilight Zone.
Oh, that's right. He's in the Battlefield episode, isn't he? The one with the two faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know which episode of the Twilight Zone he's in.
Yeah.
Just because Twilight Zone does not like more like Batman, where they bring in the actor for like one episode.
Yeah. It's like when
And just seeing the way that he acts in Batman and Star Trek, I want to see what kind of Twilight Zone scenario they put him in.
oh, it's like we're gonna. I can't think of his name. Not Kirk. Yeah, Kirk. Can't think of the actor's name.
William Shatner.
Yeah, Shatner when he was on Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah.
There's something on the wing.
Let's see. We also have. We said Andy Serkis.
Yep.
Christopher Lee, Patrick Stewart.
Yep.
Ian McKellen,
Yep.
Gary Oldman,
Hell
Ron-
yeah, Gary Oldman.
Ron Perlman,
Ron Perlman's always a good one.
Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs.
He's in Reanimator, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, and Voyager. And I think I remember him. He's also in Justice League Unlimited.
As
I don't remember
okay.
exactly, but it's starting to come back. Josh Brolin.
Brolin.
He's in Jonah Hex, Guardians of the Galaxy. He's Thanos in it, and he's in Sin City 2. And he's also, since he's Thanos, he's going to be in Avengers 3.
Yeah. Probably anything else that deals with Infinity Jewels. So
Oh, and
he's probably gonna be in Doctor Strange somehow.
so how we were having trouble coming up with females, we also have Sigourney Weaver
Yeah.
and Zoe Saldana,
Yeah. Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman, Jennifer Lawrence. And so, like we said,
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Like you know, it's funny. I don't ever think about Twilight and freaking Hunger Games as big nerd things, but they are. They're huge. I mean,
Yeah, well, I hadn't considered. I knew Jennifer Lawrence from Hunger Games, but I hadn't thought that she was
Was an
Mystique.
X-Men,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right.
and that's the reason why I kind of dismissed her because I just didn't think about. Like I thought Mystique, but I didn't consider Hunger Games. But if you think about how big that is,
Oh, it's massive.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like how big Twilight is. It's unnecessarily huge.
I don't think it's
all
quite
the
that
things
big.
we're talking about aren't necessarily huge.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not unnecessarily huge. It's a great series.
Twilight?
No.
Oh, okay. Thank God. I was about to throw something at you.
You're coupling Hunger Games way too much with Twilight there, buddy, and I had to put some distance between
Well,
the two.
it's
That's some sunlight in there.
good things sparkle just right. Friggin' do you notice in the movies they tone down the sparkle every time they go? Like at the first movie they're super sparkly, by the end of it they don't sparkle at all.
I saw the first one.
Yeah.
I saw the first one a couple of times, but I never saw another one.
You don't want to see any more.
I
Trust me.
haven't seen any of them.
Good. Keep it that way. Honest Trailers does it right. Nothing but stares.
I liked what?
Nothing but staring at each other.
Oh yeah, I liked the supporting characters, the one who were
Yeah.
hardly even part of the book.
Yeah.
Like she had some weird friends. Like
Huh.
the Asian kid who has the worm, and he's like, "Yeah, look at the worm," and I remember that was my favorite scene in the movie.
I'm all for team whoever was driving that car that almost hit Bella in the first one. Should have let it happen. But yeah, that's a character. That's Jennifer Lawrence is one you just don't think about. And the reason why I coupled the movies together is because it's like the young, not necessarily paranormal, but young romance novels. You know what I mean? Like they,
Young adult novels, yeah.
yeah. I mean, Twilight made that a genre, such a genre that has its section in Barnes and Nobles. And I see that. I squint my eyes in hatred every time I see it. It's
Wait,
like
what did it make it to?
young paranormal romance.
Oh.
Seriously, I see that every time. I just squint, going, I hope you burn.
Oh, you knew. That genre's been around for a minute. It just got big with Twilight.
Yeah, probably.
Well, like we said, there's so many actors and actresses that it's hard to think of. Just
Carl
to know,
Urban. That guy's in
yeah.
everything. Riddick, Lord of the Rings, Star Trek.
Like we said, it's hard to narrow it down to just top 5, and I don't know, we had it down to like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
We did.
Jonah Hex. I've never seen it. How is it? I hear it's.
Yeah, it's it's a good. Well, it's an interesting western. It's a quick movie, but for like a lot of fun, the Disney Showcase is a lot better.
Oh, the Disney Showcase is great.
The what?
Disney Showcase, or the a Disney Showcase with the
Oh, yeah,
DC Showcase.
uh,
DC Showcase.
I was like, what did I miss for Disney?
Yeah, DC, when they release an anime film, they usually have something called DC Showcase to go with. It's a short with just a character. One of them is Jonah Hex.
Disney animated shorts.
Yeah, essentially is what it is. I know there's Jonah Hex, Catwoman, Green Arrow, at least those 3.
Spectre.
I haven't seen the Spectre one.
It's interesting. It's a good introduction to the character.
And that's what they are. They're really good stepping points for these characters if all you know them is from one thing or another. The Green Arrow one's really good. The Jonah Hex one's freaking great. I highly recommend seeing that. Looking that one up. I think it's on YouTube. I know
Actually, it's with if you buy the DVD for Red Hood or Batman Under the Red Hood.
like, I know Green Arrow and Catwoman are on YouTube. So we're approaching an hour and 12-minute mark, actually hour 13-minute mark, which is a good average of what we have, so let's not ruin a good thing and call this meeting to close. Any final thoughts?
No, we'd love to hear different suggestions on how we can improve the show or just different little gimmicks that we can do.
Yeah, I like to hear suggestions for lists.
Yes, give us list suggestions because we always come up with these like moments before we start recording.
Yeah. He brought it up. I want to do it one of these days. Do a commentary to a movie or something. Like watch a movie, then take notes as we watch it, and then come back and play the movie again on silent, so we can talk over a movie while you try to watch it.
Yeah.
Like having us in the room annoying the fuck out of you.
And then we'd have to. Well, we need the listener/viewers input. See what kind of movie they would like for us to comment on.
Absolutely.
Me personally, I'd like to do animated series stuff first. I want to do a Batman animated series. I want to do an Avengers animated series, and then something else.
We're going to do animated series. Let's face it. I mean, DC owns that.
Yeah. See, Earth's Mightiest Heroes is actually a pretty legit show.
Mm-hmm.
I did really enjoy it. I was really upset when they like pretty much canned the series. Right, like they were setting it up for the Skrull invasion, right?
No, that's Skrull Invasion is the beginning of season 2.
No, what was it? They were setting something up too. What was it?
Oh, they set up a lot of stuff. They they set it up so that they could do Thor's Ragnarok. So they ended it with Galactus. But there's, like, if you actually go through and watch the series in order, you can almost go like, but wait, when are they gonna?
Yeah.
Like,
That show was my introduction to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mhm.
Like that's how I first heard of it. It was through that show. And then when we found out there was going to be a movie, it was shortly after I'd seen that episode. And so I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. And Rocket in that is he speaks with a thick Cagney accent, and it's really cool. Like at first I was kind of not okay with Bradley Cooper, but because I was so used to hearing that Cagney, but yeah, that's something I would like to do. It'd be fun, something different, break from the normal. So other than that, any other final thoughts?
No, that's about it. hopefully we can get this to work when everyone splits ways.
Yeah, I'm sure Brad will do something. I'll annoy somebody until something works. What's the phrase? Thank, uh, uh, Thanks for having us. I hope you enjoyed being had. Yeah, something like that.
New issues away.
Ah.